Hi, I'm HOSHINI VICKNESWARAN from SMK Putri Srimban, and I'm also a literature enthusiast, an SPM examiner, and a master trainer during the CFR familiarization course. Let's look at what worries us among our ESL learners in their writing. One of which is cliched writing. Now, cliched writing is using of tired phrases or idioms, especially in the Malaysian context, a redundancy in pattern. This could be in the way they present their ideas or in the way they write sentences. A problem with Malaysian students are also they have a habit of regurgitating idioms or proverbs that are irrelevant. There is also some mindless use of low-frequency words that simply do not fit their essays. Some students are also unable to maintain grammar accuracy as well as repeat either their sentences, the types, or the word and phrases in one essay. Let's look at literature and us. Literature was meant to entertain us. It also records past events, our customs, and cultures. Literature also instills values, not only in young learners, but adult as well. Literature definitely enhances further learning and helps one master the language. How does literature enhance language? Literature introduces learners to words, phrases, and that too in context. It also helps us to connect with the characters in a text by using persuasive language as well as social settings. By going through literary texts, we can instill a certain writing pattern. This is achieved by the presentation of plots and writing styles which are evident in literature texts. We can also look at the different registers used and how they are used to enhance a piece of writing. Basically, it is a manipulation of the reader while the writer entertains and informs them. Let's unpack our KSSM English Language Learning Standards to see how literature, or in this case, literature in action, can actually help writing among ESL learners. In 5.1.1, we can see that the aim is to explain briefly the feelings and opinions a text provokes in them. When a learner examines this, looks at a text, and examines their own feelings, they are then able to emulate this in their writing. By doing this, the learning standard in writing, namely 4.1.4, is addressed. They will then be able to express and respond to opinions and common feelings such as amusement, anger, and regret. Let's now look at 5.1.2. Explain in detail the development of plot, characters, and themes in a text. This helps a student, after looking at how it is done in a sample, which is the literary text, they can then copy that in their own writing. This will be achieved when they attempt 4.1.2, which is explain the causes and consequences of actions, events, and simple processes. Also, they will also do this in 4.1.3, which is explain the main points of an idea or argument, as well as 4.1.5, which is organize, sequence, and develop ideas within a text of several paragraphs on familiar and unfamiliar topics. Now let's look at 5.2.1. Evaluate and explain briefly stylistic features an author uses to show character, events, and place. Now, this may not just focus on one writing element. but several. In 5.2.1, we look at how a particular word, metaphor, simile, phrases in this context is used in the literary text. A student will then be able to follow this example in their own writing. This will ensure they use the proper grammar, the proper vocab for every question that they answer. 5.3.1 Respond imaginatively and intelligibly through writing scripts and creating props for a short play. Also, other imaginative responses as appropriate. This, of course, taps into a student's creative ability. Not only will they look at a previous text that they have read, they will also be able to use the text, change it as they see fit, and later on use it in their own writing. Of course, they will also be able to gauge their target audience because they used to be audience themselves. And this will enable them to write better for their readers or us, the assessors. Now, literature and writing, is it just that? Well, literature definitely helps the whole English language learning process. But here we are definitely just going to focus on writing. Now, what we read inspires and motivates us. It also moves us. Well, it has to move us. Now, this can be translated later in the language that we use, in the language that we produce, whether in writing or speaking. We will also be used to using and coming up with metaphors and symbols in our own writing. It will inspire us to have plot twists or the reader's response in a story, like I mentioned earlier. And just in case a student does not watch many movies or is unable to review something, literature will definitely be able to help there. It also helps us to develop our own characters and our own plots in our own writing. It's undeniable that literature enhances language not only by making us better readers, we learn better language and sentence structures. We know how to give out our ideas and we know what works because we were the guinea pigs ourselves. Embrace literature, empower writing. Thank you.